to our elected officials. We see that District Attorney Robert Smith had the item on the agenda, but we will move that or remove that item. That issue has been handled. We will now go to the Honorable N. Jean Carr, Chancery Clerk, Hinds County. Ms. Carr, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. President, members of the board. I'm happy this morning to have with us Chief Justice of the Mississippi Supreme Court, Justice Waller, along with Mr. Calvin Ramper, also with the Supreme Court, to give us an update on the MEC, which is the Mississippi Electronic Court Filing System. So at this time, we'd like to invite these two distinguished gentlemen to come to the platform. And as you know, we would have done these updates earlier, but we've not had 2 work sessions, so we wanted to make sure we go ahead and do it today because we need to move fast expeditiously at this point.
Good morning.
Good morning.
A brief story. Once there was a church that there was a proposal to purchase a chandelier. One of the older deacons got up to speak in opposition, and he said, first, we can't afford it. Second, no one can spell it. And third, what we really need is some light in here. This is, we come to you on behalf of the Mississippi Electronic Courts, and this is a project of the Supreme Court of Mississippi to basically bring electronic filing to all the courts in Mississippi, and our Hinds County Chancery Court is where we're ready to go. As you may know, this is our largest and busiest court, and we have been running a pilot for the last couple of years, and we're ready to take on the biggest and the best and the brightest. And that will require a little bit of support on your part. They need some scanners, which cost about, I think, $10,000 is what. But this may be the only computer program that's ever come into the court that you didn't have to pay for. So there's no cost to the county. You will have to buy some scanners because obviously this will be turning data from paper data into digital data. But what we hope we're going to accomplish is that attorneys practicing in our state will be able to log in with one password and one login and be able to do business across the state. It has many, many benefits for your clerk's office, one of which is that Ms. Carr will never have to call my brother Bob about where a file is. Because the files are all electronic and they'll have access to it. There also has the opportunity for being a profit center because attorneys and the public that have access to the file will be charged a user fee, and this will be split with the county. So this actually has opportunities for, not only will it not cost you anything, but it also has the benefit of having the opportunity for the county to recover or to earn some money. Now what this is, just a little bit of background. When we started looking at electronic filing, we looked across the whole country, and this is the federal system. This is what is used by the United States District Courts across the whole country, bankruptcy court. And we were able to get a license for the source code for this. We're the only state in the nation that has this. The federal government spent tens of millions of dollars developing this. It's a mature system. The attorneys are familiar with it, and it costs us, the state of Mississippi, nothing. It will cost you nothing to use. You just need a little bit of equipment to assist your clerks. In fact, not only did the system not cost us anything, but we have spent no money on contractors. We've done all the development in-house to modify it from the federal system to the Mississippi system. It works very well. Ms. Carr has exercised due diligence. She's visited Madison County, where we actually developed the program and did the changes. Judge Owens has been up there. We have completed our study on what needs to be done here, so if we have this little bit of help here, we'll be able to implement it. And at this time, I'm going to ask Mr. Ransford, Calvin Ransford, our Director of Mississippi Electronic Courts. He'll go into a little more detail with it, but thank you for allowing us to be with you this morning.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for having me today. I'm going to give a little bit more detail into where we are with the Hinds Chancery Court. As the chief said, the system is free to the state of Mississippi. What we have done is we have moved the ownership from in the individual courts with the technology costs to leveraging the taxpayer dollars in the state data center. So we've got the enhanced robust data center plus disaster recovery. So that's a major savings to the state overall for each individual county. As far as Hinds Chancery goes, we have completed our 2-week analysis of the actual business practice of the clerk's office. And what we do with that is we actually see what the clerk's business practice is from the clerk up through chambers and the final disposition of a case to make sure that there are no gaps in the MEC system to what the business practice is of the court. So we have completed that, and as the chief and Ms. Carr said, we're at the phase of identifying the equipment needs, which are the scanners. And that pretty much is the only cost that's passed on to the county, is the equipment needs that you use for daily business operations. A little bit more of an elaboration on the revenue that MEC actually generates for the clerk's office. Back during when the analysis was being done for a system, a big concern for the clerks was that copy charge that they normally charge the public or whoever comes in to get copies of the files. So what we've instituted is a hybrid of what the federal government uses. In PACER, as a lot of the attorneys know that use the federal system, there's an 8 cents per page charge for each document. So what we've implemented is a 20 cents per page usage that is split between the clerk's office and MEC. And this goes to help continue our research and development of expanding MEC plus offset the possible loss in revenue from that over-the-counter fees from the clerk. So as soon as Ms. Carr could actually get those scanners in place, the sooner we can move to the next step of actually training and actually docketing, starting to utilize the system. So, any questions for me?
Questions from the board? Mr. Stokes?
Thank you, Mr. President. I think the judge mentioned this is a federal system, and the only thing we're doing is just following basically the federal system, and then we would have one system. I know a federal judge was telling me that when they first changed the system, he thought he had problems with it, but this is a better system. So Hinds County is slowly mirroring the federal system, and that's just for Chancery. Now, what we're going to do?
We actually, sir, good question. The same system is used for both Chancery and Circuit. And what we did in piloting this, because of staffing resource limitations, we actually have done this in a phased approach. We completed the Chancery side, and now we're actually a couple of months away from actually starting the pilot testing on the Circuit. MEC currently works for both civil cases, county court, and Circuit criminal court will be the last part of this phase of the pilot.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Okay. Questions from any other board member? Mr. Fisher? Mr. Anderson? Ms. Calhoun?
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We appreciate the presentation. Mrs. Cole?
Thank you for your time.
And at this point, Mr. President, we would humbly like to request that the board reallocate $10,000 from the fees, excess fees that the clerk's office returned to the county on Friday. We returned $178,086 to the general fund, and this time we would like to request $10,000 be reallocated.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you
Ms.
so
Carr.
much.
It's been moved and properly second, moved by Mr. Stokes, second by Mrs. Calhoun.